Hi, this is the 4th Unit 1 review video. And in this video, we're going to look at AKS 2A. Plan and carry out an investigation about the physical and chemical properties of matter at the microscopic level. So, I believe actually that should be macroscopic, meaning that you can see it without the use of a microscope. So what are physical properties? What are physical changes? And give some examples. So physical properties. These are properties that you can observe or measure. Without changing the sample's composition. So you're not changing the matter that you're looking at to determine its physical properties. Now, if you experience a physical change, then your matter can change appearance, but it is still the same thing. So its composition will not change. For example, when water melts from its state as ice into a liquid, it goes from solid to liquid, it doesn't look the same anymore because now it's no longer an ice cube, it's liquid water, but it is still H2O, it is still water. So that's why you can see a change in appearance, but not composition. Whatever chemical formula it had, it still has that same chemical formula. So some examples of physical and properties and changes would be things like density, the color, the boiling point, changing state, okay, which means going from a solid to a liquid to a gas or vice versa. Things like solubility, where that means it can dissolve into something else. That's actually a physical process. Okay, so all those are examples of physical properties. Chemical properties and chemical changes. To see chemical properties, you actually have to have your sample interacting with something else. So chemical properties are properties that cannot be observed or measured. Until the substance or sample interacts with other substances. Because you have a reaction occurring. Or energy is applied to it. There's situations where when you apply energy, that energy will cause a change to occur. Maybe it'll cause it to decompose or to catch on fire, that kind of thing. So in order to see those kinds of properties or measure those properties, that substance actually has to be having energy applied to it or interacting with some other chemical substance. Chemical changes, are where the substance composition changes. So you no longer have the same chemical composition anymore. It is something new. So physical, your water changes state, you still have water. Here, water might have electricity run through it, You no longer have water, you no longer have H2O, you have hydrogen and oxygen gases. So that would be a chemical change. Examples of chemical properties or changes: rusting, reacting with acids, fermenting, decomposing, burning. Anything that's burning or flammable would be a chemical change or chemical property. So that's the difference between physical and chemical. Physical, you can observe it without anything changing. And when it does go through a change, it's still the same material. It's still the same chemical composition. Chemical, you can't see it until it interacts with something else or you add energy to it, and it will change into some other chemical composition. So now on the top of page 4, you have a whole bunch of words and phrases, and they want you to circle anything that's chemical in nature and underline anything that's physical in nature. So that's your next step.